Hey guys, welcome back. It's Luke, and today we're going to talk about how to learn the pronunciation of a new word. Very important topic today. Very useful for your spoken English. Before we do that, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you like the video, give it a like. That really helps me out. I would appreciate it. Hit the like button. Okay, so today's question comes from Ian. The question is very simple. How can I learn to pronounce a new word? Now, the first part of this is, I think, something that you might be wondering. Should I use those phonetic symbols to learn pronunciation? My recommendation is no. I don't recommend it. Why? Because it's an extra step between the thing that you need to know and yourself. It's an unnecessary step. And it also stops you from really developing the ear, the awareness to be able to pick up new sounds and make the sounds that you need to pronounce English correctly. It's an added step. And also, it's not perfect. Those symbols that you learn for pronunciation, native English speakers don't know them. They don't even know that they exist. If I were to walk across the street and ask that guy down there who's smoking a cigarette, "Hello, sir, do you think you could write the phonetic symbols for the word casual?" He would say, "What are you talking about? I have no idea." He wouldn't know. So if he doesn't know, why should you know it? Now, some people say it helps them. Okay, if it really, really helps you remember something, I'm not going to tell you absolutely don't use symbols. I'm just saying you can do it without them. And I know many English learners who have done it without them, who have learned English words, how to say them correctly without symbols. I think it's just adding difficulty to the problem. So let's think about how native English speakers learn the pronunciation of words. How do I know how to say words correctly? Why do I sound natural when I'm speaking English? Well, I'm definitely not thinking about symbols. I'm not. I promise. I'm not thinking about anything. From the time I was a baby, I grew up in the language, hearing the sounds, exposure, constantly hearing the words again and again. Right? I picked them up throughout my entire life. So, I know how to say them correctly because I had the right environment and because I heard those sounds, those words, literally thousands, millions of times, right? Well, you can kind of do the same thing. But first you need to develop awareness. So let's talk about awareness first. Awareness is the ability to hear the difference between one sound and another. To hear the difference between something and something. If I don't show you my mouth and I say something, 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 can you hear that I'm doing this? Something, 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 something. You need to be able to hear that. You need to be aware and sharp enough to be able to catch those differences. And the only way to do that is to listen to things again and again. You need to have regular input. Okay? There's a listening exercise you can do that can improve your listening and your pronunciation at the same time. Find a short audio clip, 30 seconds long. Pretty fast spoken native English. Listen to it again and again and again and again and again. Try to write down every word. Listen to it 500 times if you need to. Spend 2 weeks on it. You're going to develop really sharp listening. It's boring. At the same time, you're going to develop the awareness to hear those different sounds and the differences between them. Something, 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 something. Right? You have to be able to. You have to. Then the other part of that is the awareness to hear when you're making a sound correctly or incorrectly. Most of the time when we speak, sounds come out of our mouths and we never hear what our mouths just said. If that's you, you're never going to improve your pronunciation. You have to listen very carefully to yourself and be able to catch when you've said something instead of something. You have to be able to hear the difference not only when other people say that, but when you say it, either correctly or incorrectly. And I can't even begin to tell you how important it is. It's so important that if you don't do it, you have no chance of sounding natural. It's not like, oh yeah, well, maybe that's optional for me. That's something I might decide to do. I'll work on that, maybe not. I don't know. I can sound natural without that in my spoken English. Sorry, no. Incorrect. If you can't hear yourself speaking English and you can't hear sounds coming out of your own mouth and tell the difference between them, you will never sound natural when you're speaking. Never. Okay? I can't make it more clear. So what you can do is speak, read something, or just speak, record it, listen back, and try to catch those things. Try to catch pronunciation. Incorrect sounds. Write them down. Try again. Try to catch those sounds again. Is it better? Is it worse? You have to develop that awareness. Then, when you're speaking, try to catch the sounds that might be wrong. Really pay attention to yourself. Okay. Now, the other part of this question is the main part of the question. Where can I actually get the pronunciation? How do I learn the pronunciation of a new word? The way to do it is to hear it. 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 40 times. And there are so many places to hear it. Vocabulary.com is a great place. You can go to vocabulary.com. You can search the word. You can click on the little audio icon and you can listen to it 50 times and repeat it as you're listening to it and match your sound and that sound, your sound and that sound. This is where the awareness part comes in. This is why I talked about awareness. Match them. And by the way, when you're doing that, you're also developing the habits, your mouth habits. It's called muscle memory, that you need to speak naturally without thinking. If you have muscle memory, then it's almost like your mouth knows how to do it correctly without you thinking about it. Think about it. If you're good at anything, you probably have muscle memory. If you're a good dancer, you're not thinking about every little thing that your hands and your feet are doing. No. You've practiced it so many times that it's second nature. It's like a habit, right? It's called muscle memory. So if you're repeating those words also, in addition to learning the sound, you're making it a habit. If you do it 100 times, it might be boring, but next time you need to say it, it's going to sound correct. People will say, oh, that sounds natural. They might not say that. But it will sound natural. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Guys, this is really, really important. Okay, I can't tell you enough how important awareness is. And to be honest, I think the best way to learn the pronunciation is to develop your ear and be able to hear the sounds and repeat the sounds that you hear, not look at a piece of paper and guess how it's pronounced. I just think that's not a good way to learn pronunciation. Okay? Okay. So, I know I sound a little angry about this topic, but it does make me angry. So many people learn pronunciation the wrong way, and it's frustrating to me because you're doing it wrong, it's wrong. Do the right thing, and you will improve more quickly, I promise, okay? All right, if you liked the video, give it a like. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike. If you have questions about pronunciation or grammar or culture or whatever, leave your questions in the comments. Okay, leave your questions in the comments. I read every comment. I might not answer every question, but I do read every comment. Also, if you like these videos, if you find them useful, don't forget to subscribe. So subscribe, guys, and I will see you in the next one.